Magic cards.
What's the price of that?
$150,000 on the Troll and Toad. $150,000 is what they're charging.
I guess I don't know.
So to get a full set of the reprints, you'd have to spend a little bit less, but you can't play with them in tournaments.
You can't play with them in tournament because they're tournament legal. And also the back of the cards. I mean, if you look at the pictures of these backs, they don't. Everyone knows what you've got.
Yeah, I mean, people play in like covered up. You could get caught though if someone pulls it out of your covered up backs. You know, you could play in black screen backs because sometimes those old cards and those old card tournaments are pretty worn out. So you have to you put it in a black sleeve to sort of pretend that they're not marked, right? But anyone can always you can call a judge over and have them pull out the card so they can make sure it's a real Magic card and not a proxy or a non-tournament legal reprint that someone paid $1,000 for. I can't. Who's got the? I mean, who's this for? I don't know.
Who is this for? That is a good question.
Yes.
I don't even get it anymore.
Although now, I mean, maybe I want to buy a full set of beta cards. That's pretty impressive. $150,000.
Has the value gone up on those though? Like, is there a consistent value upwards? Like, is there an investment wise on those?
I have no idea, but yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I honestly I don't know. I've been out of the Magic game for so long. I have no idea what the trending increases are.
What's going on, Rolls?
Hey, Rolls, how's it going?
You'd be watching. You'd probably be stuck on. Don't you watching the Yankees tonight? I think it's 1-1 against the Guardians, right now. I wasn't keeping track. I know my Astros won.
The Guardians? God, I haven't watched baseball in so long. Who are the Guardians?
Yeah, it's what team got renamed?
Cleveland? The Cleveland Guardians? The Atlanta Guardians?
No, I think Cleveland. I think it's still the Indians, right? I don't even remember anymore.
It's not the Phillies. They're still called the Phillies, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it is the Cleveland Guardians. That's right. So they're no longer
the Guardians. The Guardians. I was like, it's got to be one of those two teams, the Braves or the Indians, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's the Indians. So it's
those are the last bastions of poorly named.
I forgot that this was the year. This was the year that they changed the logo. It's not a very good logo. It's honestly, but I mean,
Dan's like, I'm not here for baseball unless we're talking about RBI baseball on the Nintendo. The greatest.
That's right. No, sorry, got a little jockey there, a little broy there.
Over to the championship with my pudgy little players.
Sorry, I mean honestly, like I'm not a big baseball fan, and when it comes down to like watching every game, but I will say that October is kind of fun. Like it's fun to kind of watch. The playoffs are always exciting. I mean, because I mean, I had a conversation with someone earlier where they slogged it out, right? Like these seasons, I don't even know how many games are in the season. It used to be 82 games in a season. Now it's like 116,
I think, or
something ridiculous. Rolls. How many games are in a season now? I know it's a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
It's something stupid. It's so long that by the time October rolls around, you're just like,
162. I was way off. Yeah, that's a long season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't it less? I mean, am I making that up? I remember. Was that basketball? That's 82. I feel like there's a number that was way less than 162. Yeah, 82 is basketball. Thank you, Dan. So 82 is basketball, but yeah, it was 154. So 154 games. Okay. So now it's 162.
Has it always been 154 games?
No, I think even before, like a long time ago. Yeah, hockey's 82 as well. So hockey and basketball.
Maybe like when I was growing up with baseball, the Yankee season was over pretty early. So maybe it felt like I only watched like 80 games, and I was like, "Good job, Don Mattingly. See you next year." Enjoy the rest of the
See you next year.
See you next year.
Those are the slog days of the Yankees, right?
That was when the Mets were doing well, and you're like, 86. Why Mets? Why
Mets? Oh man, let's roll these credits and
Sure, rock and roll,
let's
we
get
got-
going. Let's get going here. Where am I at? Where is it at? There it is. This is my first time doing this. This is my first time.
Come on, get it together.
Get it together. 4 years in. Hey, welcome to Mid-Geek Christ, episode 193.
193. That's
Fourth
wild.
anniversary. Yeah, Stadium Arts, it's on.
It is
You're
on.
here. You're available. I see
Great.
you. Welcome.
My eye is full of dirt. Got sand pocketed or something. I don't know. But yes,
Pocket
fourth
sand, baby.
anniversary, 193. Thanks for jumping on, Stadium and Dan and Rolls. Thanks to the folks who have followed us and liked us and been around for 4 years. We started pre-COVID, which is wild to think about because I feel like it's only
Yeah,
been
it was
COVID.
2018. We started. Episode 0 aired on October 10th of 2018.
Wow, that's amazing. And you know this because like a calendar popped up, or you?
Well, yeah, I got it marked in my calendar, but I made sure to go check, and I went back to episode 0, and I can see the upload date. And
It's
sure
so
enough,
amazing to me that like Joe's gonna send me a card and everything, and I didn't even remember it, right? Like I just.
as expected.
Joe texts me and he's like, "Hey, it's our 4th anniversary of the show," and I'm like, "I didn't get you anything." Is immediately what I replied with.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh man, thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you for spending your Tuesday nights. You could be watching
Yeah.
baseball.
You could
but
be
instead
watching baseball
but
playoffs.
it's just the Yankees. So I mean, like,
Just the Yankees.
just the Yankees.
I mean, we all love to hate the greatest. I totally understand. You always want to bring the greats down. I mean, like, no one feels this way about, I don't know, the Expos. I can't even name a team because I'm so high up with the
I don't
Yankees.
think we've got the Expos anymore, right? I don't
No,
know. Are the Expos even a
Obviously.
team?
I didn't want to. Yeah, I mean, people love to hate the Mets because they're the stepchild of New York City, right? No one cares.
It's like the
about
Jets. They
that.
rhyme.
Well, hey, everyone loves the Jets.
No one likes the Jets. It's the Giants. Everyone's a New York Giants fan.
Let me rephrase. The people who like the Jets really like the Jets.
Oh God.
That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. Yeah, the Mets. I guess like the Rockies. Do people care about the Rockies? I don't know. The A's. The A's.
Yeah. People, the Oakland A's got to. It's more like the White Sox.
Yeah, no one picks on the White Sox because they're not the Yankees, right? You want to pick on the greatest.
You know,
baseball
the
franchise.
White Sox are like the Mets because everyone the White Sox have like everyone's a Cubs fan.
Everyone's a Cubs fan.
You know, at least the Mets get the consolation prize of coolest closer entries of the year. Yeah. Guy, I watch a Lions fan. Pray for him. Oh man, Lions. A Detroit Lions fan is tough these days. I mean, they're like. I mean, it's as bad as being a Houston.
I didn't realize
Texans
they were
fan.
still a team. If I'm honest with you, I would have thought.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but you know, it's I don't know. It's nice growing up in the greatest city in the world with the greatest baseball team in the world. You know, it's just maybe not the greatest sports franchise that goes to Man United, but definitely the greatest.
That's fair.
There you go. And how people still watch that thing. I don't know. I assume we watch it for the Tom Brady divorce proceedings as well.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Stadium. Appreciate it. You know, I got into a conversation about this. That's right. Absolutely. Agreed. We talk about this a lot on I had a buddy of mine, we were talking about the NFL and he's also a big college fan. And I was like, you know, I can't get it. I wanted to get into college at one point, and then like I stopped. I couldn't do it anymore. And then I realized why it feels so dirty. You know, when I look at this, like the salaries that these coaches make and the money that's pumped into these schools, and then I see like academic, you know, departments being cut and all that stuff. So then I'm like, whatever. I mean, at least the NFL's honest about their sleaziness, right? Like they're like they are.
Oh, look at this. Wait, I don't mean to interrupt, but Stadium just subscribed. Thank you, Stadium. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we do it. We do it for the jokes and for the love and for the people that come on.
I don't know why the bot must not be running. It usually pops up and says.
Yeah, usually we see something. We didn't get to see it. I think our bot took the day off for the 4th anniversary. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I don't know. You got a founder's badge. Interesting. That's weird.
Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, well, we've been doing this for a while, 4 years now, and we've got we don't have 1 million people following us, but we got a good crowd. Comes in and out.
We don't do it for the follows. We do it for the chit chat and companionship.
That's right. That's right.
As I like to remind my wife, no one wants to be friends with the 40-year-old man, so we have to go out there and make our own friends. So you folks on is great.
And that's why we're in St. Louis sitting on some of Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. So yeah, this week was interesting. But last week, if you joined us, we played Tabletop Simulator. We ran Super Snipers, which he goes live on Kickstarter on the 18th.
18th, yeah, he's got the countdown going. 7 days. He's gonna have a little event, Galen's Games. You can check it out.
Yeah. So go check them out.
Maybe it's just me. You know what? It's probably just me.
Oh man, but yeah, I guess this week was interesting. I mean, there's some stuff might bleed over from last week that we didn't get to talk about.
Definitely.
Even, if anyone thinks about something that we missed that we didn't talk about, please bring it up in chat by all means. This week there's a lot of stuff going on, right? This weekend marked this Saturday actually marked the 30th anniversary to Mortal Kombat.
30th anniversary to Mortal Kombat. How awesome is that?
It's a pretty awesome thing to kind of celebrate in a way, because while we think about it, we're like, oh, Mortal Kombat, it's like, it's not Street Fighter. It's not like, but it's also a very game, right? Like we have to think about like, where were you where Mortal Kombat caused that like disturbance in video games, all the violence and like the amount of like litigation and things that Mortal Kombat caused.
Yep.
We talk about like game ratings and litigation and violence and all that kind of stuff. Just
the downfall of American society can be traced right back to Ed Boon's Mortal Kombat 2.
They didn't announce anything new. I mean, there's rumblings. Ed Boon has been really active on Twitter for the past like 3 weeks or so, just constantly doing like Ask Me Anything, except don't ask me about the new game, because I'm going to tell everyone the same thing. We will announce it when we're ready to announce it. And
that's fair.
He's like, it's coming. Don't worry about it. We'll announce it in due time.
Can you tell us when Borderlands 4 is coming out? I'm just curious.
Who knows? Who knows? At this point, I think Tiny Tina's making them all their money.
That's where the monopoly is.
That's where the monopoly is. But they did release a 30th anniversary video, and I wanted to kind of check it out on stream and see what, let's see what it's about.
You're not wrong, Stadium, right? Shansung's flaming skulls do look like flaming marshmallows. They probably were. But also because this is a conflation of two things.
We're flaming marshmallows at Mr. Wilson's head. Okay, yeah. It's interesting. I played it, obviously. I think most of us played it. I played it at the arcade.
Yep.
When I could, or when I could find a machine that actually had it. But I think everyone's big introduction to Mortal Kombat was the home console release, Mortal Monday, when that big, advertising campaign for, the home console release came out, and they released it in Genesis and Super Nintendo. And then do you
remember the release in the Genesis? Yeah.
And of course, the Genesis release, everyone was the Italian. It had blood. If you put in the code, Super Nintendo didn't, that sort of thing. But let's watch this real quick.
Yeah, throw it up there.
Yep. Let's go.
One arcade game that we made in 1992 managed to spawn off all these different forms of media.
So many trashy movies, unlimited trashy movies.
The past and future are colliding. It has begun.
Man, there's been cartoons and movies and all sorts of tech behind the creation of the game.
Motion capture?
Yeah, well, that's how it was all done, right?
Fight.
So this is how the game was captured. It was captured on video.
Yeah,
they rotoscoped every frame.
You're no soldier, Kung Lao. You don't.
This is really well edited. Oh my gosh. Oh, I remember that movie.
There's a good-looking guy. Look at the two of us.
Surprised to see me? I will make you regret
Look at us. Look at us.
Finish him.
How come they never highlight the friendship? So,
Friendship.
why is it always fatalities when we can have friendship?
Of course. Go check out Ed Boon on Twitter. This past week, he has been posting all sorts of little clips and videos and behind the scenes of the making of the original Mortal Kombat. Just a lot of stuff that wasn't out there before. He even at one point earlier this year, he posted up the cocktail napkin of him and a buddy at a bar who drew the Mortal Kombat logo for the first time.
Oh my god!
And he still had it. It was just cool to kind of see that.
What a memorabilia to keep.
Yeah.
Bring it out later.
Yeah.
I recall it being in a local pizza shop, and it blew a lot of our minds in that Street Fighter. We had been used to that, and Mortal Kombat was most definitely not Street Fighter, right? So you kind of had to learn some things. And I do remember the moment in the pizza, when someone pulled off the first fatality.
Oh yeah,
all got to see.
Oh yeah, everyone got to go. Oh, it was just
soda's dropping in the background. It's what did I miss? Just ridiculous.
Of course, with 2, they introduced, just like you said, the friendships.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
yeah. So I just I power to them, right? 30 years later, it's an amazing franchise. As I understand it, the movies are exquisitely long in the games, but I can't ever sit down and play the game, as I have a child who likes to walk down the steps and watch me play violent games. The minute I put one on, she comes downstairs and is like,
"Yeah, it's what are you doing? What are you doing, Daddy? What are you doing?"
I'm causing nightmares, sweetie. Let me tuck you back in.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 is available on Game Pass right now. If you go download it, if you want to play it, if you have the time to sit down and play an interactive movie, the single player is great. It has a pretty good story. That is where NetherRealm Studios has really excelled with their fighting games. While when it comes down to the fighting game community in general, the mechanics of Mortal Kombat 11 aren't the best. A lot of people don't. There's some broken mechanics with it for actual esport play and fighting game community style play. It's not a bad watch when people actually play it. It's not as tuned and refined as other ones. But that said, though, the single player and the story and the animation and just the overall 4 hours of cutscene / in-engine rendering is actually pretty good. It's pretty entailing. It's amazing that they can get that much lore and whatever else out of a fighting game franchise like that.
Yeah, I love that. I have no idea what the lore is. I'd love that. There's lore. I love it.
Yeah.
Isn't it just a tournament to the death to save the Earth? Oh, okay. There's more.
Yeah, well, the story has changed so much. It's been progression, and then they've reset it, and they've referenced timelines, and everything is multiverse, right? Everything's multiverse. Everything's a multiverse.
Multiverses all the way down.
So that's pretty much what Mortal Kombat has become, right? There's been loops of time that have caused things to reset and things that had happened at one before were reset. Characters that died were brought back because things had changed, that sort of thing. Pretty cool.
Could I imagine a spin-off game that wasn't Mortal Kombat fighting?
Oh yeah, there's a few Mortal Kombat spin-off games.
But they weren't Mortal Kombats. They were something else, right?
Well, there was Mortal Kombat Mythologies, which was let's bring those up. So,
oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, so there was MK Mythologies, which was again, it was they had it on PlayStation, if I remember correctly, PlayStation and a few other consoles.
Yes.
So there was a PlayStation version of Mythologies, and it was a story based combat action adventure RPG-esque.
That's what I recall. I was I know they had some sort of spin-off that wasn't fighting, but they tried to make it fighting with leveling up and stuff like that. It was very backstories of the characters to extend their storylines and use up the property even more. So I do recall that. Good stuff. Yeah. Mortal Kombat. I haven't played that in a while.
There was also Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Mm-hmm. That was an a weird one as well. It was again, I'm trying to find a bigger picture of it, but essentially,
Can
yeah,
you
it
make
was
the
like,
picture smaller?
yeah, that's Wikipedia. You would think that someone at Wikipedia would have had really high quality.
Dan mentions don't forget Motor Combat.
So that's
A joke game? Is that
that's the Mortal Kombat. So inside of Mortal Kombat, I think starting with I want to say maybe Deadly Alliance was probably the first one that had this. They added all sorts of like mini game things. Yeah, so Motor Combat was the mini game in Armageddon, and I know there was a puzzle game in Deadly Alliance. There's a few other 3D Mortal Kombats that if you do certain things and unlock the games, there was other games within the game, which is, of course, it's fun because Ed Boon and all the creators and Tobias, they all have fun making these games and changing things up and doing all sorts of crazy things with their characters.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, it's cool to see 30 years later, franchise is still there, still alive, still kicking. Speaking of franchises, and let's you've already let's watch this thing.
Oh, sorry.
We have the wonderful pleasure to have been graced by Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Released this past Friday. I'll save my reactions for that.
Is this a new drop from Mario Party? What am I watching?
Behold, the king of the Koopas!
Open the gates!
Oh God.
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield? I do not.
Oh my God.
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
Oh, I thought they were gonna drop the full beat. How dare they?
What is this place?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Okay, let's try. Yep, no, everybody in Hollywood. Looks
Yeah,
great.
so that was announced on Friday. It looks great. Animation looks fantastic, definitely, and at the theatrical level. Illumination has a great studio. I mean, they did all the Despicable Me's. They did the Sin 1 and 2. I think they did, Bad Guys, I think is the other one that they did. Some of those aren't as high budget. Obviously, the money that's being pumped by Nintendo to make this thing is big bank, right? Like, I mean, that first scene with Bowser and the ship and all that, I mean, the rendering and all that looks fantastic. Looks great. Jack Black is the voice of Bowser. I think he's killing it. I wouldn't have noticed. Of course, the internet, being the internet, has a problem with Chris Pratt and has a problem with Chris Pratt's voice as Mario there.
I mean, it's not Italian enough. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I mean, like, was there no one else available?
Yeah. So right. So my stance on this is like, was there no one else available? Okay. They went with Chris Pratt. Why? I don't know. I just feel like that's a weird take on. You have to make him.
It says he said one line. I mean, come on. You're right.
No, I agree.
Right,
I agree, Dan. And that's. I'm gonna play both sides here.
That's
one, he said 1.5 lines like Mushroom Kingdom, here we go. I mean, you could see that
That
he's-
was Chris Pratt's voice. I thought
That-
that was the mushroom voice.
No, that was Chris Pratt's voice.
Oh.
He's kind of doing like a little slight Brooklyn-esque accent. You
It
can
sounds like
catch
he's
it.
auditioning for Sonic's job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, Mario's got to have a high voice over here. That's how he's gonna talk, way up here. That's what they're gonna do.
They should have just got Captain Lou Albano to come back.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just
Voice.
raised him and then they could get a necromancer and brought him back. Look, here's the thing. Everyone, of course, the internet is like, they should have got Charles Martinet to do it. Charles Martinet, who's been the voice of Mario for forever. He is a voice actor. He doesn't just do the wahoos and the yaha, wahoo, I'm Mario. You know, that is mostly what he does. He has done other voices in movies because he is a voice actor. That said, though, he has never played Mario as a really long role. Like, I can't imagine Charles Martinet trying to hold that like tone that he has for Mario
all the way through
for multiple lines. That said, though, is Chris Pratt the best choice? Probably not. I'm still holding judgment until I get actual full dialogue, right? Like, it's but you know, the internet is the internet hate machine, right?
Did I read that right? Is Charlie Day Luigi? Is that what
Charlie Day is Luigi, and you don't get to hear him much. You just hear his like you know, and it sounds like Charlie Day. So you know, if you just imagine, close your eyes and listen to that like little scream, that little like 1 second scream.
Always Sunny in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, Always Sunny in the Mushroom Kingdom, right? For sure.
Oh, it's
Look,
great. I think it's a fun movie. I'll probably.
It's getting a fun movie. It's March 30th. We'll wait for the next
It's been a while
trailer.
since we had a movie we can go to the theater and enjoy with the kids, so that should be fun.
Did he? So that's interesting. Mario left for 5 years at NYC. You know, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I would have to hear him talk
I
more.
like the phrasing of that, where he just had to talk as Mario all day in the booth. Was it a gunpoint?
I mean, it's Nintendo and Disney are very close with their like methodologies here.
Do the voice with the gun in the back.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. I mean, feel free to, if you find that interview, post it down there. I haven't seen any interview with him. I don't know. I mean, again, under capitalism, it's all gunpoint. You use the word. There we go. That's the word of the day. Boom, capitalism, baby. It's killing
us all.
It's killing us all. Yeah, no. Look, again, I don't know if Charles Martinet could have done it all. Could he? Yeah, maybe, absolutely. I just I don't think Chris Pratt was the right choice. But that said, though, I'm not going to immediately hate on on his character work off of one line.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'll wait to throw my boo this man, scenario.
Really, I mean, like, I guess I should be happy I don't have to see his face. I feel like he's in everything all the time, right? There's like a limited pool of Chris's.
So much controversy with Chris Pratt.
There's a Chris. Oh
no, I see you here. I see you. It got pushed back up. I see you here. Don't worry. Again, it's a lot of controversy. People like to hate. Chris Pratt has been kind of like a hated actor / character for a while now. I think because people got burnt out on the Chris Pratt. I don't know. I don't understand it. I mean, I know he's got his own weird like views of life outside of Hollywood, which I don't care, but I don't see the hate. But yeah, that's probably it. That's probably
because he's a Republican.
Who knows?
Also, why we hate Tim Allen and
yeah.
Charlton Heston.
That said, though, immediately the Twitterverse found this guy. I'm gonna post this video up. Found this guy, said everyone needs to hire this guy for Mario because this is the voice that they want for Mario.
Okay,
ready, guys?
All right. So they did a TikTok search and they found him.
They found this authentic New York accent for Mario. You ready? Ready?
Yes.
My body like an altar boy lately. My cholesterol's rising like Jesus. I'm gaining weight like I'm on birth control. And I'm gobbling food like Augustus Gloop. I can't stop. But I got an eggplant, fresh mozzarella, super side, so much salt, my ankles are going to be swelling up like a diabetic. Oh, my God. How fucking gorgeous this bread is. When it's got the flour, the little farina. Man, look at me now. What do you want to do? And I'm getting absolutely classless right now. I'll play it up with a DC. Fuck. My hands are more oily than your sister giving massages.
Seriously?
Oh, my God. I haven't done one of these in a minute. We're gonna do a simple 11 out of 5 models. Take care. Let's go ahead.
It's got 1.4 million views. Everyone's retweeting this guy like this should have been the voice of Mario. This should have been the voice of Italian American at his point.
11
11 out of 10 marons.
Mwah.
I knew I'd get you there.
I love that guy.
So there you go. Everyone's like, yep, this
yes,
guy right here.
And he did do fantastic in both Lego movies. He's done voice acting. There's a part of me that says like the character in that Lego movie is very much a Chris Pratt role.
Yeah.
While in my mind, Mario, and again, jury's out, I'm not making a decision, doesn't seem like a Chris Pratt role. It would be like casting, I don't know, trying to think of someone who would be grossly inappropriate. It'd be like Clint Eastwood as Mario. In my mind, it's a very like Clint Eastwood embodies a certain role and a certain thing when he's on the screen. Ryan Reynolds would be a terrible Mario, right? Because Ryan Reynolds is a certain type.
Deadpool.
He plays a certain. He's also casting Michael. You take that back, go after that. But even then, you wouldn't even think of putting Michael Keaton as Batman. And in my mind, he excelled. So maybe we'll see him excel. Chris Pratt will excel in his own role. Yes, and he does love Jesus. I love Jesus too. My brother's name Jesus.
I've got I think that's the name of my lawn guy, Jesus.
Yeah, we got a bunch of Jesuses out there who do good things for everyone. So yeah. No,
I mean it's interesting. I just don't understand. I don't get it.
It should be fine. It's gonna be great.
Remember, and I have to keep like the conversation about this is like, oh well, we want an Italian guy, whatever. I'm like, we have to remember that Mario, the original conception of Mario was an Italian guy thought up by a Japanese man.
Yep.
Who originally wasn't a plumber, was a carpenter, by the way, who then went down pipes in a mushroom world. The New York thing was never part of the like mythos of Mario until like far later.
Italian American gonna be from?
I know, right? I mean, but like no one ever said he was technically American, right? Like no one ever said that he was from like New York and America and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, it's interesting, like the idea. We're looking at Mario is an Italian guy.
He said it. He's mine.
Mine. No, sure.
That's what you mean. It's mine now.
Yeah, it's mine now. I mean, Mario is an Italian plumber / carpenter through the eyes of a Japanese like creative. So like to get all like bent out of shape over his ethnicity or whatever is kind of weird. Right. Like he's the blue collar everyman.
Right. So immediately when someone pitches a character like that to me in the room, I think Chris Pratt.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. That's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened. Look,
he's originally an Italian plumber guy, maybe a craftsman, blue collar guy. Chris Pratt. Right there. Yeah. Is Chris Pratt available? Would be great. He was great in Sonic the Hedgehog.
You know who would be great? Kevin James.
Kevin James would be great.
Kevin James would be a great Mario.
Bad that you suggested that, but like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he'd play it. Like, I don't get the hype for this movie. To be honest, Nicholas won't even be.
You're not wrong, Rolls. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Maybe in the future, then they could do like a Spider-Man thing where everyone who's played Mario in some capacity or another can come back and play.
He was based on the landlord at Warehouse. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I remember reading that his original like basis. I mean, he was supposed to be a carpenter. I mean, the original games that he was in, like when he's in Donkey Kong, I mean, there's a reason why he's walking around in overalls and one of his weapons is a hammer, right? Like he's a carpenter. And then later on, when they gave Mario Brothers, they put him in the pipes, and then they made him a plumber and that all stuff. I mean, it's weird. Like, serious answer is Mario should be played by.
Cannavale. Sure, you're right.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree there. Again, this is it's an animated movie. We shouldn't be all caught up in it. You know what? You know who didn't care? My kids. My kids saw the trailer and were like, oh, it's Mario, and they're like, yes, Dad, we can't wait to see it. And I'm like,
Low standards.
Yeah.
You gotta raise those standards.
yeah,
How will they grow to hate if they don't learn at an early age?
I know, right? So let me jump on this quick hate
We're gonna
little
put
thing real quick, just like you brought it up.
I brought it up. All right,
Small little rant real quick. Just this is my personal thing. Because like you said, we gatekeep, we hold back, we do all these sorts of things. Past few days, a couple days ago, there's an interesting fighting community. Over the weekend, by the way, was the Street Fighter 6 beta. Capcom released the open beta. I did not get a key, even though I signed up for it. I was very sad. I was very busy, but still, I would have liked to have gotten a key. So I didn't get to play it, but a lot of speculation, a lot of fun videos online of people playing the game, playing online, kind of doing all the testing, breaking the game, that sort of stuff. That's the whole purpose of this open beta.
Seriously, sure.
And a lot of the fighting game community was out in full force on Twitter, talking and running their mouth and a lot of trash talk and whatever else. And one individual, his name's DSP. He's known, in the fighting community way back in the day. He's known for some other things that he did on a live stream, which I won't talk about. But that said, though, I just wanted to put up this tweet that he put up. He took another person's picture, who posted a picture of their arcade machines in their office, and this was his take. And let me see if you see that there. I spent the vast majority of my free time from age 13 to 27 playing competitive Street Fighter. I always thought I'd end up with something like this. Now at 40, I have zero desire for it. And I see countless people who never played competitive have these. Go figure.
What are we figuring?
Yeah.
What are we figuring? That you have no joy left in life, DSP? What does that mean?
I mean, it's such a weird take. Like, there's so much to extrapolate there. One, he's this dude that obviously did it for a very long time, play fighting games. And then now he's like, well, at one point I wanted this. Now I don't want it. I'm 40. I would never want that now. But now he's like, now I'm seeing people that didn't play these games competitively, and they've got it. Like, they don't deserve it.
Is that his take? So like,
yeah, I mean, his take is like, well, these guys didn't even play competitively, so why do they have them?
I think he's saying that a casual player or someone who didn't play competitively shouldn't have machines. That's terrible.
That's a terrible take.
Here's what I think. I'm just gonna put it up there one more time. You know what I like? You know what I don't like about the scene? The windows aren't blacked out. There isn't neon carpet down. What's up with the lighting in that space? That is a terrible arcade room.
It's his office. You can close the blinds, whatever. But that said, though, like, this guy, I mean, like, just, it's such a bad, like this is what you're.
Keep them out. That's what they always want to do, right? They want to pull you down because you're the greatest. You're the Yankees. They want to pull you down.
Yeah.
Pull you down.
So of course, the clapback, the clapback was, this particular individual saw that he retweeted him, and he came back with a wonderful tweet, which I thought was absolutely phenomenal. If you ask nicely, DSP, I can run the PS1 version of Super Turbo on my calves, so you can reminisce about the last time you were relevant in this game. Just torched him.
Those are really nice setups, though.
Yeah.
Really
so
nice.
those are Naomi's.
Down? Is that what that is? For like space, or is it? No, it's just like long cabinets. That's really nice.
Yeah. Well, so Japanese cabs are called candy cabs, and they're that top part is the marquee that you swip out. Those are universal cabs that you would put in the board at the bottom, but they're all sit down cabs, right? So you don't stand up. They're not as tall as American cabinets. They're shorter. And so they're all meant to sit down. So you sit down on the stools and that's how you play. A lot of these cabs sometimes are linked together. So they would be back to back.
Yeah.
And it would be single player only. So one person has his own screen and, they're linked up.
So you're not up at each other's grill.
Yeah, because they're smaller cabs in American cabs, right? But yeah, it's an interesting, first off, these aren't cheap machines now, right? So they're Japanese candy cabs. They're expensive to import. You got to love the hobby. You got to love the game to bring them in. It's a weird take, and that kind of right there is that like gatekeeping community in all communities, right? We get it. Like, oh well, you didn't put in the time, so you don't deserve the nice things.
Oh, but they put in the time, I assume, to restore those cabs and purchase them.
Right. Yeah. Dan's still in here. Dan, they're looking for you. Did you leave the light on? What's going on? There he is. No, but I mean, these cabinets are nice. They take a lot of time. There's an art form to kind of restore these things. You have to understand that these cabinets right here, I mean, these aren't something that you bought new. You probably bought these used that were sitting in some dingy arcade full of like, Japanese smokers. So
you got to go in there and lovingly clean it out.
You got to clean those out. I mean, like I've got one, and so one of the things that kind of like made me mad. I'm like, I didn't play competitive, but I've got one. I'm like, what's this hate? Like, I don't understand. Why are you telling people how they should love something, right? Like that sucks. And I know.
Sense. Also, like, do you have to play competitively to enjoy it? Right? Like, do you have to? You
right.
Trash talk your two brothers in front of a system and laugh about how bad you're losing. Like, you can't do that. You can't have fun doing that. So
I mean, all communities, whether they're video game or tabletop or whatever, have like this weird take, this weird like gatekeeper take. And that leads me to the next topic. I want to talk about Magic the Gathering.
Oh God. I mean, like, yeah, you're right. I know even in the wargaming community where I am painting these Napoleonic figures, there are some folks who you'll post up your Polish regiment and they'll harass you for not using the right colors on the bandoliers, right? I don't even know what they call it on the ribbons and stuff like that. No,
right.
The Polish never had gold ribbons. They were all red in the Battle of Waterloo, and you're like, really, really, dude. Guess who's not playing at your house? I guess it's me. So, what I want to know, out of curious, Boba, how much are cabinets like that nowadays? Like that one?
So,
I'm gonna guess $3,000-$4,000.
No, they're not. I mean, they can be, right? So it's interesting. The market says that they can be valued at anything between like $1,200 to $3,000. Mm-hmm. It's a big jump, but the only reason they cost that much is because you have to import them. They're not stateside. If you found someone stateside selling it, that person is going to sell it to try to make up for what he paid for and then some, right?
Right.
So that person didn't buy it stateside. That person probably imported it as well. Yeah. And so these cabs, technically, when you go to some of these importers, there's a couple of them out there online that'll do it for you. They get them in like the truckload and the big boatload or whatever. The cabinet itself is like $8,000 to $9,000 to $1,000, depending on the. Sometimes you buy them sight unseen. You're saying, I'm looking for a Sega Astro City, a new Astro City, a Blast City. There's different models of them. So you tell them what you're looking for and they'll get you one. Sight unseen, you're not going to look at it. They're not going to send you pictures. This is the one you want. They're going to give you one. So then you pay that amount, and then you also have to pay the import. So the import travel can be just as much as the cab. You're looking at another $1,200. I think the last time I looked at the company to my zip code, so they've got different tiers. To my zip code alone, it's like $900 for the delivery, and then another like $1,300 for the cab. So you're looking at $2,100 to $2,200
just to get it in your door.
Just to get it into your door, and then once you have it. Once you have it, you don't know what's broken, what isn't. If the control panels have been, they've been worn and torn, like these are things that were sitting in arcade machines. And you have to understand, in Japan, they smoke. They like smoking. They have Sega branded ashtrays that would sit on top of, these machines. Everything is like yellowed and nicotine. There's smoke. There's inside. So you have to like tear them out and clean them up. And then also the tubes, right? These tubes have been sitting on and running for thousands of hours. What's the burn-in on them? How many hours do they have on them? What is it going to take to restore? Can you find the parts to restore them? No. A lot of you can do like cap kits and all that kind of stuff to get them up and running. But then also, like, if the tube goes out on you, that tube is a very specific tube. It's a 29-inch tube that wasn't found here in the US, so you have to import a new tube. It's a niche market. It's a hobby. It's a hobby that's very delicate because it's already a machine that you can't find the parts for here in the US. And they don't make them anymore. So the only parts you can find are from other cabinets that are being cannibalized.
Yeah.
So
can you fabricate them? Is there no business model? I guess not, right? You can't.
So not that particular model, because it's still tubes and no one's making new tubes anymore.
Right.
What people are buying nowadays are what's called Vulix or Chulix machines. So those are the LCD style fighting game machines. You sit down, and for those machines, They also range in the I'll put up a picture of what one of these Vuelixes looks like here, but this is what a Vuelix looks like. It's a it's a sit down. It's like the last of the candy style machines. These are what they look like in Japan right now. That's what you play Street Fighter 5 at an arcade at. Street Fighter 6. A lot of these, they're just computers running in these things, and that's an LCD.
$300. So I was spot on with my.
Yeah. So these are like, but what you're buying here is brand new.
Yeah.
Like these are brand new machines. I mean, you pick the buttons that you want here. You want Sanwa buttons, you want standard buttons. What kind of joysticks do you want? What color? Do you want red? They've got other ones, etc. And again, that's through one vendor. There's multiple vendors. They range from about $1,200 to $1,300 actually delivered. About half that you can find them, because those are manufactured, and you can get reproduction. They're called Chulixes. They're identical part for part, but they're not made by the original maker. They use all the original parts, and they're manufactured to order, and they're only $1,500 delivered. So that said, though, but they're not a tube, so you're not getting an old style cabinet. You're getting a new style cabinet.
Which you can buy parts for, yeah.
But you can buy parts for it because.
But I didn't compete, so I don't get one.
Yeah, you don't get one. Yeah. Sad news from last week. What is it?
Killer Queen Black servers are shutting down. I never tried that game. It was on my list to try out. Was it a solid game, Dan? Is that a fun one? Killer Queen Black.
So if you go to any of the arcades, like any of the big still barcades, arcades, whatever, Killer Queen Black is kind of one of those modern arcade machines. They're big stand-up LCD, and they're 4-player versus 4-player. They put two machines side by side, and it's kind of like
why are they servers? What does it mean when their servers are shutting down?
So you can play it online against other people as well, but in bars and whatnot, you can play them. It's a 10-player game. I just discovered a few weeks ago. Yeah, so it's 5-on-5, right? It's not 4-on-4, it's 5-on-5, 5 players per side. You can find it at bars and cabinets and whatever. Do you remember when we played, what is it, the pirate game, the pillage game?
Yeah.
That exact same game, but with a different style. So one person plays the queen who flies around, and it's like the big, and then you play drones, and you have different wind conditions. Steal certain, like steal their egg.
Yes, this is like a MOBA but lighter.
Yeah, but lighter, right? It's a really fun game. It's great. They have it at all the arcades here, and there is a Killer Queen Black version for Switch and a couple other ones. So there's a home port of it, and the servers are the ones that are shutting down. So it sucks.
So, hey, Tim, how's it going? Thanks for coming out. Been a little minute. Rose says, just waiting until I win the Powerball. We'll be setting up an old school mall arcade in my mansion. Hey, Rose, if you win, I happen to know 2 very, very kind people willing to work setting up your old school mall arcade. Perhaps running the door or security. We can do that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We had this conversation. So, what was your take? Don't we need to reboot Blazing Saddles, don't we?
Oh my gosh.
That's the new thing. I think we have found that the internet will just explode.
You're running a surprise. I've already put together a budget. So.
Talk about it, because the internet will explode if you change something.
Mm-hmm.
So over the weekend, they announced a new HBO Max series called Velma. All right.
Yes.
Now, before I show anything or talk about it, we have to talk about this because, one, Scooby-Doo has had literally about 10 to 15 different reboots.
Yes.
Like, there is no shortage of the Scooby-Doo that you know.
Yes. You can find exactly the Scooby-Doo you want to watch.
Right. So, over the weekend, they announced a new take on Scooby-Doo, a new show called Velma. And in this one, they have changed the race and the ethnicity to a lot of the characters. And there's no Scooby in it. Why? One of the reasons there's no Scooby in it was because they are going the Harley Quinn route. The Harley Quinn animation route. The violent, over-the-top, adult animation. And one of the things that even the creators were like, it would feel weird to have Scooby in this. Because Scooby already brings it down to like the kid level. So we're not going to have Scooby in it, but we're going to have everyone else in it. So
we wouldn't want to put the dog in danger.
Yeah, it's a weird take. Mindy Kaling is playing Velma, And of course, she is no longer a white girl. Let's just be honest here. She is literally an Indian character. So here's the trailer.
Oh my gosh.
Dear HBO Max, they just learned you intend to make a genre-bending comedic origin story of Judy Jetson. When I heard this new version of Judy Jetson wouldn't be boy crazy, the only word I had to describe my disgust is jinkies. If there is one thing the internet agrees on, it's that you should never change anything ever. I hope you can tell. Sincerely, Velma. Well, at least Judy's still white. Unknown caller. Spooky. Hello? Velma Dinkley speaking.
Oh my gosh. The internet must
Do you like solving mysteries?
Yeah, but I'm actually much more three-dimensional than that. Who is this?
That's the mystery. And solve it quick, because I'm in your house.
A serial killer calling from inside my house? Yes, that's a classic, and that's my point. Why change anything when the classics all still work, right? You're inside my house!
Oh my gosh. People must have been so excited for this. I love it.
No, Dan, it's nothing. It's just its own thing. That's what it is. It is its own thing.
Where does it fit in the canon, Joe?
Where does it fit in
Where
the
does it fit in the canon?
It has there's just it doesn't do anything. It doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah. No.
Like it's just another take on a character. By the way, Shaggy is black and he's got dreads.
Wow.
Daphne is Asian and Fred is white.
I'm mad that it's its own thing. That's it. Well, you know, it should be much like I've been watching Harley Quinn and I'm up to the 3rd season now, and I think to myself, like, how cool would it be if we did more things like this, where we took a cool character and just put them in their own world and went a little overboard or went a little underboard.
Harley Quinn is fun for that because that's exactly what Velma's doing. They're taking the characters and putting them in their own thing.
Just enjoy something a little different, separate, distinct. I don't know. It's pretty cool, I think. I haven't heard of this. It's on HBO Max, so I guess I won't be canceling my HBO Max. So Velma was cool. I mean, yeah, Velma was cool.
So
Daphne
with the announcement to this, over the week they released the new Halloween animated movie. Scooby-Doo has released tons of content.
Oh, okay, the Scooby-Doo Halloween movie. Okay, I thought they animated Michael Myers. Okay,
there's constantly like Scooby-Doo movies, little shorts, like brand new series.
I went looking for Scooby-Doo and I was like, where do I even
start? So they released a new like DVD straight to streaming Scooby-Doo movie, and the style is very much drawn like the old one. The animation is really beautiful. But in that movie, they kind of confirm in that version that Velma's a lesbian. Like she's
something
like,
we've known all along.
We've known all along. Like, haven't we? Isn't that like we've all played in our own canon, in our own head for years? But then all of a sudden now they've made it like a thing. They actually like solidified it in a movie. All of a sudden you've got to like.
Yeah. I mean, things are changing. We're all Woody and Toy Story in a way, right? Strange things are happening, and the whole world's going spacey on us, and we don't know how to deal with it. Right?
So that said, though, we have a new idea for a movie that I think would be the perfect. I think the internet would love it. And could you pitch this movie for me, Pedro? Because I want to hear it. Like pitch it to me, because I am all for this. I can't wait.
So just as a precursor, occasionally I like to sit there and be like, what would set the internet aflame? What would destroy people's minds? And I pitched it to Joe as such. What if we took Blazing Saddles, beloved property, and gender swapped the characters? Gene Wilder is now played by Kate McKinnon, and Chevon Jones, the sheriff, is played by Leslie Jones, right? Chevon, what's his last name? Chevon Paul, what's his last name? And we just have it be that way. We just have gender-bent Blazing Saddles with the cast of Ghostbusters, the remake of Ghostbusters, out there for the internet to enjoy. I want to make a fake trailer, Joe. I want to make a fake trailer. Look, I've already crushed rolls. This is.
I would love it. I would love it. I would. I would watch that movie so hard. I was just like, this is making people so angry. I love it.
Thanks, knowing y'all later. See, this is big fans of Blazing Saddles out there.
Again, folks,
you have to know your limits, though. You have to exercise these. Like these powers must be used for good, Dan and Roll. So I apologize because I often use them for evil. It's the dark thoughts I have that I sent to Joe, and then he asked me to release them out into the wild.
Look, I have to again re-emphasize this over and over again every time. This is not going to stop, folks.
Yeah.
The world is changing. People are growing up. People are wanting their own thing. Sometimes they want their own take on a property.
Yeah,
it happens.
Like Shakespeare.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna state this again. I want it written on my freaking tombstone. The new thing does not erase the old thing from existence.
Except in the case of Star Wars. I'm just fucking with you.
The new thing does not erase the old thing. The only way
except for Voltron and Thundercats.
The only way to erase the old thing is if the actual creator goes back and does not allow the release of the old thing and adds, like
George Lucas.
Now that is a problem, right? Like that's the
way. The whole point is that there's room for all takes: hot ones, cold ones, bad ones, great ones. Shakespeare, again, I always go back to Shakespeare. Shakespeare is an example of the world's most famous playwright. His plays have been done over and over and over again in very different ways, very different casting over and over again, and it blows minds, right? It's great that way, right? So we should let people do whatever they want with these properties and have a great time. That said, I would only do this to troll the internet, y'all. This is the hoax I would love to put together.
I would love it.
Yes,
and you know what?
So in my world,
you know what's hilarious, Pedro, is out of all of that, if you sat down and you sent a message to Mel Brooks and be like, Mel, buddy, can we do this? He would love it. He would love it just so that he can make everyone mad, because that's the type of person he is. I know that's how Mel is, and he would love it.
I mean, like, I was trying to think of a property that would drive, like, be the most broad culture cross-stream crushing, and then that's the one. And yes, you're right, Tim. This is how I get my jollies. It extends my life, right? It's like it's the portrait of what Owen Gray, except it's evil. It's great. Adam says, don't say Shakespeare online unless you're willing to read a postal worker's unhinged book on Shakespeare. What? Send it to me, Adam. I'll read it. But for real, your thoughts on Shakespeare, rest in peace.
So today we had some weird announcements. A lot of the Marvel movies have been shifted and moved. Yep. They had just been announced. A lot of things and dates had been just put into stone at D23 only 3 weeks ago. But today, one of the big stories that happened was that Marvel is shutting down the new Blade movie. So the pre-production for that movie has been halted completely. We had Basim Tariq left the project, and they were trying to get someone to fill it in. Expected, for this, they were trying to get someone in here to, to film it, to get it out for November of next year. That didn't happen, so they decided to just halt it, which caused all sorts of things. It delayed multiple movies. So they've now moved a bunch of them. Is now expected September 6th. 2024. So that is almost a year after. Deadpool 3 has been moved from September to November of the same year, so only a few months difference. Fantastic Four shifted from November to February. An Untitled Marvel movie, they haven't mentioned, is from February 14th to November. So again, that's a big one. And then Secret Wars has been delayed from November 7th, 2025 to May 1st of 26. Wow. So everything has been pushed back because of Blade. Because again, this is one of those.
This is the fifth arc or the next arc or whatever.
Right. Well, this is one of the damned if you damned if you don't. You you wanted movies that tie into each other. You wanted continuity. Everything needs to be branching and tied together. So some of these movies can't be released before other ones. It messes up the storytelling for Marvel and the giant epic saga thing that they're trying to tell.
So I would argue that it does not. But,
Yeah.
Right? There's many a comic book I read out of order, and I appreciated them still, right? So who's Simon Phoenix?
What is your boggle, sir?
I still don't know what you're talking about.
Simon Phoenix, Wesley Snipes' character in Demolition Man?
Oh, Jesus. I haven't seen that movie in so long. You guys can quote it?
Yeah, man. What is your boggle? What, you're not familiar with the Three Seashells? What's wrong with you?
Isn't the Three Seashells from Judge Dredd? Isn't that a different movie?
No, how dare you, sir? No, I guarantee you Snipes will be in that movie in some way, shape, or form, Tim.
I like how we just talked about Tim. Exactly this viewpoint.
No, Snipes, not my blade. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So again, that's a movie that just can't get up off the ground. I find it interesting that it's a character of color that they can't seem to like get down. It's like, is it that hard? Like, I don't understand.
I bet it is.
Like, do we not have enough directors, like directors of color that can go out there and make a movie? I'm sure there's tons of them.
But there's like 3,500 Disney executives who have an opinion on what.
Yeah, that and yeah, there you go.
Why directors keep leaving, right? So
yeah,
that's got to be it.
So that's
also it's a hard concept nowadays, right? Like he was like a trench coat wearing vampire that killed other vampires, right?
Right.
It's a lot to deliver.
So I haven't yet, Dan. I'm hearing good things about it. I haven't sat down and watch it. We just watched Hocus Pocus 2 over the weekend, so that was the last.
Was that worth the hour and a half invested?
It was fun, man, and like the kids loved it. It's again, Hocus Pocus.
Do I have to have seen Hocus Pocus 1 to understand what's going on in Hocus Pocus?
Absolutely, yes. Don't. How dare you, sir? How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, so I haven't sat down and watched it. Yes, I unleashed hell on my household for sure. I made sure of that. We watched it as a family in Texas. We made sure that,
There you go. That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. So another big piece of news real quick before, it's already an hour in. I've pushed this to the end because I knew that Pedro would not want me talking about this for hours and hours on end on our anniversary. So big news was that we had some screenings of Black Adam. And we had some interviews from Black Adam. I want to play this little clip here of the of this interview. So apparently, actually, I don't have the clip. But anywho, that said, though, in an interview with The Rock, he talks a little bit to the individual who's interviewing, who had just watched the movie, and he states that something obviously happens at the end of the movie.
Okay.
And he says that, well, now that you've seen it, and you with that ending. He talks about how Black Adam, he's really The Rock, and Dwayne Johnson brings in money. He's a big star, he's a big name.
Yeah.
He seems to be pushing his weight around at Warner Brothers, and some of the changes were that DC just hired Joe Quesada, ex Marvel editor-in-chief, is now part of DC, and I think they're trying to bring him on as kind of the Kevin Feige for DC to kind of come in and be the guy that's going to manage the media for DC.
Yeah.
And I think The Rock is flexing his muscle a little bit on the hey man, let's get. He's a big DC fan. He says he grew up as a DC guy. He's always wanted to play Black Adam. This has been his personal pet project for 10 years. He's been wanting to play Black Adam, and now that it's coming out, again at the end of the movie, something happens, and then in the interview he talks about how. He's setting himself up as the strongest thing in on Earth, but the strongest character in the universe has been sitting in the sidelines far too long. That said, rumor has it that they are bringing back. Looks like they've worked out some sort of contract with Henry Cavill, and we will be getting some more Man of Steel, some more Superman.
Cool.
And I think we're supposed to be probably getting him show up at the end of Black Adam. So. Again, it's all speculation at this point. No, but the interview seems pretty on the nose without The Rock kind of spoiling anything. It's exciting.
Has the movie dropped? I don't.
It comes out October 21st.
All right.
So you've got all the press junkets and all the people that have watched it and all that. So yeah, so I think that rolls. I think that's what we're getting. He's definitely wanting some sort of like crossover. He wants to be on screen and either fight or deal with Superman at some point. I think that's one of his own personal things. I mean, he's pretty much, they says Dwayne Johnson has confirmed your plans to make a Superman versus Black Adam movie. I don't know if that would be the actual movie they would get. I would guarantee you that it would probably be maybe some of the bigger.
That picture looks like they're going to kiss, dude. And that means they've been reading my fan fiction.
Of course. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. I think he's a great Superman. Whether your take on what Zack Snyder
Superman since Christopher Reeve, I'm just.
Well, I mean, there's been other TV ones, of course, but we don't talk about Mr. Kane, and we don't talk about also. I mean, Brandon Routh was a great Superman, but we're not going to talk about that movie, are we? No, we're not. But again, it's exciting to see him. I think Henry Cavill played a great Superman. Maybe the direction wasn't the best way. A lot of people have problems with the way that he was kind of written in Man of Steel, but I think him embodiment of Superman is great. Put him back in, get another director in, put another script in front of us. I think we've got a great Superman film. That's still there for him. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see him
another
back.
Superman with Henry Cavill, because I mean, I'd watch Henry Cavill build a computer. I have
watched Henry Cavill build a computer. So I'm excited for that. One more thing, real quick. Just over the weekend, there was TwitchCon happened.
Yes, TwitchCon.
So yeah, I don't know if anyone watched or read any of the news that was going on out there. So it looks like what was the Tumblr con with the ball pit in the middle? Remember that you had to
oh my gosh, that was like a crappy little con though, right?
Yeah, it was a crappy con, but it was supposed to be like bigger than it was. It was like the original Fire Con, right? It was the Fire Island kind of scenario where all this money went into this convention and it was really bad. But TwitchCon is not that. TwitchCon has tons of money. And this was kind of a big year for TwitchCon because a lot of the creators showed up there and they kind of went face to face against the president of Twitch. And there was some go read some interviews. See, this guy is completely out of touch with kind of the streamers and the whole way that this thing is going. That said, though, it looks like Lenovo had a booth there with Twitch, and they had a big foam pit. And yeah, it's pretty disturbing. I'm not going to play the video. There's the streamer. She jumped into the pit on camera, and when she jumps in the pit and lands, things don't go well. The outcome was she broke her back in 2 places. We had multiple injuries, knee dislocations, all sorts of stuff within this foam pit. It looks like no one tested it. Looks like it's only about like yay deep. The foam,
like knee deep, dude.
It's like knee deep. The foam is not just not meant for this type of like jumping in. It's like hitting a rock, I think, is when you land on it. It's just like really dense foam.
There was no padding underneath. Like it was an OSHA violation, and I guess many people got injured at TwitchCon.
But they didn't close it. Like the pit stayed open the entire time as injured. They literally had to like evac.
They die.
Yeah, they die. And what's interesting is people have been talking. Like she immediately posted on Twitter, was like, "Hey, by the way, yes, I broke my back. I'm going to need they're going to have to put a metal rod into my back. You know, that sort of thing. She's going to undergo surgery." That said, she also said that she can't sue because they made him sign a big old there's all sorts of releases and whatnot before they even jumped into the pit.
So,
I'm wondering, a lawyer could probably find a way around that, of course.
Okay, all right. You sign a bunch of things that say you can't hold the Twitch liable for any injuries at your event. But if there are grievous violations, surely they can be held liable, right? Like if it wasn't safe in the first place, like you only signed those agreements with the assumption that they're following all the rules. And if they're not, you should be able to sue them. It seems weird that you can sign a terms of service that the company can be like, well, I can now poison your water and burn your building down.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's the exact take. This is what happened. This pit was like, hey, by the way, this pit is like full of rocks.
Yeah. And it's not like they were like, don't jump in the pit. The pit's dangerous.
The pit was made for people to jump in.
They encourage people to jump in the pit. And then people started hurting themselves. And then they didn't discourage. Like they didn't shut the pit down after people started. I don't know. I don't understand how that works. I don't get it. So yeah, Rolls, you're right. You know, I'm at the age now where I steer clear of the foam pits. My daughter's always like jump in, and I'm like, I'm too tall. Like I'm gonna hurt myself if Daddy jumps in there, and then they're gonna have to pull me out, and you're gonna be embarrassed because an ambulance is gonna show up to pull me out of the foam pit, and it's not gonna work out for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean we all get old, right? We're all getting older in our age, and we think we can do things, and it's always that moment where you're like, I'm not that old, and then you go and do it, and then you're like, oh, I made a mistake.
Oh yeah, no, it's good to know your limits.
It's good to know your limits, and I will say this: this weekend,
that's why we invented ibuprofen.
This weekend, I took my kiddo to Six Flags for the first time.
Oh wow, nice!
And this was a reward. Background information. My kiddo is again, without long story short, my kiddo was born early, so he's always had some like growth development issues. Over the past, I want to say 4.5 months or so, he has been on a daily injection of HGH. You know,
Sure.
it's definitely like a growth hormone.
And
It was one of the, like, first it was like a convincing, right? I mean, no 13-year-old, 12-year-old wants to give themselves a shot every day. And so the conversation I had with him was like, hey buddy, you know, like this is one of those things that like, this is going to help you get bigger, taller, stronger, that sort of thing. Because you're at a point where you're like, if you go past a certain age, your body as a boy, you stop growing.
Switches off. Yeah.
Yeah, it switches off. So we got to get you at that right window, and you're right at that window. So we got to like really hit you hard with this. And I said, if you can do this, at the end of a certain amount of time, you're because you're gonna get taller anyway, so you'll be able to ride all these rides you want to go. And so that was his reward. And sure enough, we went to the doctor, and he had grown 3 inches.
Nice.
In like months. It's amazing.
You have to put out money for clothes now.
It's great. That said, though, he was excited, and we got to ride these throw rides. And also, this is the first time I had been to any type of like place with thrill rides in over 20 years. Like 1999 was the last time I rode. Maybe I had ridden any type of like a roller coaster, and I'm talking like roller coaster, like straight up, like turn you upside down kind of thing. It's like straight up scariness. That said, though, one of the things that I always wanted to do was when they opened up the Superman ride at Six Flags, I said I wanted to ride it. And these aren't my favorite type of rides. The Superman ride here at Six Flags Over Texas is a drop ride. It's one of those take it straight up, and then you drop you straight down, like multiple stories.
Not a fan of those.
Not a fan of those, but I said I wanted to do it.
Here, right?
Oh God! So I said we're gonna do it, and Connell was like, "Let's do it, Dad." So we got in line and we did it. And
Nice.
let me tell you.
Thanks, Chappelle Brown. That's a heartfelt story. 3 inches. Yeah, no, that's a big deal when you're small. Growing even a little bit's a big deal.
So
there is no foam pit or jacuzzi or any of that nature, right? Tune in for Mid-Geek Crisis After Dark.
So here, my sister caught this.
Oh, look at you with your legs swinging. You're so nervous.
Yeah, dude. So I'm gonna play the audio because my son is.
This is what it looks like. This is by my dad and my brother.
So,
Bye. Have a great time.
It shoots off.
yeah, look at you. You're like, what am I gonna do? What am
Oh
I
my
gonna do?
God.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you, dude. And then it just drops, and then it takes you right back up again.
Yeah, no, there's no getting off of it. You just gotta ride it out.
You can see all of like Dallas from up there. If you see, it's a giant Superman logo at the top of this big giant tower that you see by the freeway. I mean, it's ginormous, and then it drops you again. I have never been on anything like that before. I mean, it was the last ride I rode that night for sure.
Huh? It was what? It was what? Here we go.
And then it drops you again. It is. It doesn't play. It just goes back up, and then it brings it back down. Oh man, yeah. I am
screaming and yelling. That's amazing.
And actually, my kiddo did not know. I was saying a lot of holy words for sure.
A couple prayers.
A couple prayers. I'm sure my knuckles were.
Like, "Ooh, get me off this fucker."
Oh man, yeah, but Connell's face. Look at him. He's like, look at this kid over here on the left of you know.
Not more exciting.
Just amazing. He just took it. I was so proud of him,
dude. Good for you. Look at you. You're like medic.
Oh man. So yeah, I made some good memories with my kiddo. Got to ride this ride that I never ridden before. But yeah, nothing makes you too old. Nothing makes you feel old than trying to do a throw ride, thinking like your body is, you know, teenager
boy,
still.
yeah, with your teenage
40.
boy. Forget about it. Oh my gosh. I rode one of those at the top of the stratosphere in Vegas. Never again.
Yeah, no, again, yeah, you're already tall, so as high as that's going, plus higher, no, my God, yeah. Yeah, no, there's more. Like my kiddo rode, he went on with my sister and did something called the Riddler's Revenge, and it's one of those giant spinning pendulum things.
Yeah.
And you just hang there, and again, same thing, no floor, legs dangling. Just craziness. He did it. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I did pretty good. I'm glad, you know, I wasn't feeling that bad. But yeah, I don't trust rides from like carnies. If I'm gonna ride a thrill ride, it's gonna be at like an establishment, like a Six Flags or a Magic Mountain, or you know, like the big establishment. I'm not gonna ride carny folk that like
the rides that are cemented into the ground, and
right?
You don't want
not the ones that they use like
across the country.
Yeah, little stakes that they put down. I'm not gonna trust.
They balance it with a bunch of shingles, right? To get the shims in there. Oh, that's level. That's good.
Dan, that's right. If you ask my son what his favorite ride was, he says it was the Titan. He says that first drop. He says literally started narrowing. Yeah, my sister and both they said that first drop apparently was like a big deal. Yeah. So yeah. So I thought I'd share that. Didn't you go to a convention this weekend?
Yeah, I did Retro Game Con with the child. She loved it. She had a great time. We did pinball machines. I sent you a picture of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade set. We did that. I showed her that her father is still extremely skilled at Combat. Not Mortal Kombat, mind you.
No, Combat, the tank,
I'm talking about Combat.
Atari. 2600.
Atari Combat. Yeah, I'm sure everyone remembers this, right? We can show this, right? The old Combat screen.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. So there it is, right there.
Yeah, baby.
Swinging the bullets around the corners, where you'd be standing sort of like right there on the edge and just moving the joysticks to your shot.
Because the bullet is actually still kind of pulled to your barrel. So when you shoot it, it comes out. But if you turn, you can actually fling the bullet around.
And how did you do that, Daddy? And I'm sitting there being like, just training. I was there when the games were written, Sean.
I was there when the magic was being written. Absolutely.
It was fantastic. It was good playing that with her. One of the fun things about going to Retro Game Con is there's no instructions for any of these games. Right. So it's always a weird thing being the elder where like someone, like a young teenager would sit down and be like, what's this? Oh, it's Atari. I've never played Atari before. And they wouldn't know how to play it. Right? They didn't know how to start a game, reset the game selection. I'm like,
there's no options menu. There's no it's turn it on, it's go.
No start button. One kid was like, I think it's paused. And I'm like, oh, my sweet summer child, you cannot pause your games. It's actually frozen. Let me help you with that. So it was good. It was good fun in that way. And I think I'm old because I love pinball machines. Like the pinball machines are fun for me now. I get them; they make sense to me. So it's a good time. It says that sounds like me trying to figure out the Atari games we got at like garage sales. Yeah, there's no instructions. And you're like, what does this do? What does that do? There's no text on the screen to explain to you how to do anything. So yeah, it's good. It was good fun. It was really good fun. And my daughter loved Pong. Every time we go to this Retro Game Con, she wants to play Pong, and so we played the heck out of Pong.
Man, that's awesome. No, I mean, that's great to get to play that. Real quick, just want to touch this. MetaQuest Pro, 1,500 thoughts? No, not buying it. Not even remotely worth it at the moment. If today, Oculus / now Meta, I guess, for the MetaQuest Pro, the new Oculus headset was announced.
But you got feet. They have feet in the Meta.
It's ridiculous. It's $1,500, a lot of money. Nah, I don't know. I haven't read anything on it outside of the fact that that's way too out of my price range for a single headset.
Yeah, honestly, it would be better to take that $1,500 and buy the 30th anniversary edition Magic the Gathering sets and hope for 4 packs. One of them might be a Lotus.
One of them might be a Lotus.
One of them might be a Lotus that's not worth anywhere near the same as a Lotus. It's actually, yeah.
This thing. I mean, if anyone's familiar with Magic the Gathering,
terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, so Magic the Gathering is doing a 30th anniversary set. They're called the premium sets. They're anniversary editions. These cards, they're basically repros.
Power 10.
Yeah. I mean, the reproductions of very rare / old / retired cards. There's a Black Lotus. And you would think like, oh man, $1,000 for these decks, $1,000 for the box or whatever, get 3 decks or whatever. You open them up and you can get some really cool cards you can play with. No, they are 100% tournament illegal. Not used. The back of the card is this right here. So even if you had them in your deck and they weren't sleeved, everyone would know what they are.
Not legitimate.
So they're not legitimate. They're essentially practically proxy cards. They're just reproduction cards of these cards that can't be used. So it's weird to me. We don't know who these are for. Also, buying them, you can get lands in them. I don't know about you, but if I spent $250 to $500 on a pack of anniversary editions and I got lands in it, I would be upset.
Old packs did have lands, so it's an authentic experience.
It's an authentic experience, right? Absolutely.
100 times the cost.
To spend, it's like $4,000, I think, for the chance to pull a non-tournament legal Black Lotus. Is what it would taste at $999 each.
Yeah, to collect the whole set statistically is $149,000 to buy them all, right?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, $124,000.
Yeah.
So don't do it. You're better off just buying regular Magic cards and waiting for them to appreciate in value in 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or buy an $18,000 jewel encrusted Millennium Falcon. Damn.
Like, is it like this big, or is it like a Millennium Falcon? Is it giant like
Han Solo's Millennium Falcon?
Yeah. Dan, this is an interesting one. I thought about it. So we talked about this a few months back. Cuphead is now getting a physical release.
I thought you already ordered it.
No, I haven't ordered it yet. It finally went up. Like it's up and available. You can pre-order it now. It's just $39.99 for the game for the regular edition. It'll be out at stores, retails. You can buy it from Target, buy it from wherever. It's being published by IM8-Bit. They are releasing a Cuphead Collector's Edition. It's $199. It is like the game plus a bunch of extra stuff, a lot of collectible stuff, a little music box.
Limited run games, or is it?
No, it's IM8-Bit. It's one of the other limited run companies that are out there. They're the ones that also put out the they've been at PAX. You've seen them before. They sell like vinyl. They sell the soundtracks on vinyl and whatnot.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that same company, they're releasing the game. They're doing the publishing. $200. It comes with a music box and like a giant marionette of Cuphead. So it's pretty cool looking, but $199 is a little high. I don't know yet. I haven't decided if I would want to dump that yet. It is a game that I really like. The kids like it. It is it's really cool. Like it's like there's not many games that I would dump that amount for, but my kids have played a bunch of hours on it. I've played a bunch of hours on it. I've enjoyed it with my kids. I like the idea of having like this collector's edition for the game that I love. But that said, the $199 is a little steep. I don't know yet.
Wow, who are you? What have you done with Joe?
Yeah. It comes with a little music box, so it plays like 3 different songs. So it's cool. I mean, it's a cool little thing. I don't know if $199 is the price.
Like it's not just a bunch of stickers in an art book. That's
yeah. Anywho, folks, that's it. We're wrapping up. Thanks for joining us again. Thanks for 4 years.
4 years watching us, the fans, the subscriptions. Really appreciate it. It's great being friends with all of you through the early start, the lunacy, and now post-COVID time.
Yeah, post-COVID, and here we are. And
keep your fingers crossed.
Oh God, NGC Con.
You know what? We got to make that happen. All 5 of you are invited to Syracuse on January 31st to guarantee the snow effect. Right, so we're stuck inside. I should schedule it the same weekend as the Super Bowl just to piss off my fans.
Ooh, I love it. Adam, just real quick, Ring of Power. I'm digging it. I have no problem with it. I mean, a lot of people are like, it's not canon. There's a lot of changes, whatever. And I'm like, let me enjoy things. Let me enjoy things. Just let me enjoy it.
But the years of study, the translations I've done of the ancient Elvish text, how will I prove myself?
The texts, the ancient texts. It's literally lit on fire. I mean, look, man, it's not exact. I'm enjoying it for what it is. I'm having a lot of fun. I think I think the characters, the fight scenes, everything. I'm liking all of it. I have no problem with it. Any scene with Durin in it is absolutely with Elrond and Durin is.
I have no idea what's happening.
Fantastic. Also, Rage Soldier Galadriel is really cool. Yeah, she's just awesome. Like every scene that she's in, she's just a.
Excuse me.
Oh
my God!
She-Hulk ends tomorrow. That's right. Season finale. That's been good. I've enjoyed it. I have no problem with that one either. Also, if you saw last week's episode, no spoilers, but Daredevil's in that episode. That's
oh my gosh, awesome! I'm excited for that. Big crossover.
Go check that one out.
And Dan's really enjoying Andor. Man, you folks are watching some TV.
Yeah, that's that. I haven't gotten into it. So
I want to sit into it. I want to enjoy it. Get like 3 episodes under my belt. Really develop.
Well, I think that's what they did. Like the day they announced it, they dropped 3 episodes.
I just know that if I start it, I'll interrupt. I'll do work. Like I want to carve out time to enjoy it. Yeah. Give it a chance.
Well, I think we're at 6 episodes now, right? I think 5 or 6 episodes are up now. So. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you for 4 years. We appreciate it so much. Go follow us on Twitch, on YouTube. Go follow me on Twitter at @mid_geek crisis, where I'm a lot more active on the social there. I'm
not active at all, but please, if you post on the Facebook, I'll see it eventually.
I'm gonna get a PO box opened up for him. You can send him. He likes actual letters. Letters.
The best part is the PO box not under my name, so I can remain completely I go
completely
there.
Of course, absolutely. Andor's good, cautious. They found people not named Skywalker.
But do they wind up on Tatooine?
They always end up on Tatooine, right? Like that's. Yeah.
All right, folks. Have a good.
All right, everyone. Have a good week. Another episode in the can.
Be kind.